Hello again to everyone that just joined us. I hope you guys are well. We have been really excited about this webinar. We have some great content prepared for today. I know a lot of you are experiencing, let's just face it, it's crazy times. This is something I say at the beginning of every webinar. Every webinar I say to myself, maybe next webinar I won't have to repeat it because things will, kind of slide back to normal and we'll just be dealing with our everyday reality. But apparently that day has not come yet, and we are still experiencing these crazy times. And I know that many of you have had many challenges with your business, whether you are already open or still in the process of reopening, or maybe even unable to open during this time. We wish you quick recovery, and we hope that you will be back up and running as soon as possible. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. Today, we are here to discuss what you can do, whether you are already open or not, to kind of strengthen the foundations of your business, strengthen those infrastructures so you have everything you need to reopen once the circumstances allow it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We have some exciting guests with us here today, so I will introduce them in just a moment. Just guys, give me a thumbs up that you can see my screen, because I'm known for talking when my screen is not shared. Well, I think it is. So I see hands raised, so my screen is shared. Thank you very much for confirming that. So hello again. I see just more people are joining us as I speak. Thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited to have you here today. We hope you are all well and safe. And let's get down to business. Let's talk about today. So my name is Rachel Shapiro. I am product marketing, I should learn my own title, product marketing manager here at Visita. And here with us today is Dr. Julie McLaughlin. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Julie.
Yes, it's McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was going to ask just a second before we went live, and you know, with everything going on, I forgot to ask which is super important. So I am very sorry. I also have a weird surname with the CH, and people always get it wrong. So I guess we're in the same boat here.
Yep.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Julie is what I call a doctor superstar. And she has a really, really interesting background. And when I wanted to prepare her bio, it was really hard because there were so many different things. Like I was looking through her website and trying to pull together the pieces of information I thought would be best to introduce her. And it was so hard because there's so much going on. And Julie, you are involved in so many interesting and amazing initiatives. So Julie she basically helps tens of thousands of people improve their health and lives through her clinic, through her ebooks, her teaching, her public speaking. She's one of the Midwest's most sought after wellness doctors. She works with celebrities, with elite athletes, with local entrepreneurs, with business people, with students and entire families. And what she does is help them live a pain-free and healthy lifestyle. She's a chiropractor, acupuncturist, functional medicine practitioner, educator, speaker, author of 9 books. And Julie, did I miss anything? That was a pretty long list.
You got it covered.
And most importantly, she is here with us today to talk about kind of what has been going on at her clinic, at her business, what kind of challenges she's been experiencing, what she's been doing to overcome those challenges. So whether you are a doctor or any kind of other kind of healthcare professional, or a music teacher, landscaper, Pilates teacher, as we know we have one online, fashion designer, any profession at all, we've created today's presentation so it really tailored for small businesses. So no matter you're a doctor, lawyer, Pilates teacher, don't you guys worry, because we have plenty of content that is relevant for you here today. So let's just go over the agenda for today real quick. As I mentioned, we're going to start with the challenge. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID, what it's been doing to businesses. We're going to hear some firsthand stories from Julie, who's going to describe what COVID did to her business, kind of what kind of impact it had. Then we're going to move over to talk about, how we can kind of use the circumstances to our advantage and kind of embrace this opportunity and see what we can do. There's a lot of can'ts now. You know, we can't do this, we can't go here, we can't have people here, but there are so many cans. So we're going to try and focus on the cans, what we can do to kind of put things back into place and try and, you know, make the most of this opportunity, make the most of what's left of this year, 2020. Talk a lot about overcoming and how we, Visita, as an app can help you do that. Julie's going to describe some of the workflows that she does in and out of Visita, and then I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide in Visita so you guys can implement everything yourself. Today's session is recorded, so I'm just going to say if you have to drop out in the middle, don't you guys worry, a recording will be sent to your email. And just again, I want to say, in case you missed it at the beginning, we are answering questions. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to use the Q&A panel. It's on the bottom of your Zoom application. Send us a question. We'll be leaving enough time for questions at the end. And if we don't get a chance to answer everyone, don't worry, we'll follow up with you offline, that is. And just stay tuned to the end because there is a super cool offer/surprise at the end of today's presentation. So Julie, I introduced you before. I am so excited to have you with us here today. Every conversation, like I just look at you and I want to smile. Like, I don't know how many doctors out there can say this, that they just put smiles on people's faces.
Thank you.
We love your energy. We love your story. And we are super, super excited to have you here today and talk about what you have gone through as a business, how you have overcome, and what kind of tips you can give to our community. So thanks again for joining us. And let's start with talking a little bit about how COVID actually kind of affected your business. How did things change?
Well, on March 11th, all of a sudden, so I'm in Chicago area, a little bit, maybe a half hour north of Chicago and some of the suburbs. And Illinois, we got hit pretty hard, and just like other areas in the world, but they really shut us down. So March 11th, I shut down for the first time longer than a week. And I've been in practice 33 years. And so I was closed for 2.5 months. And that was devastating to me. Even when I had my kids, I only took 2 weeks off to deliver babies. So COVID, it was a huge game changer for me. And so I thought, you know what, I have to figure out a way to still communicate with my patients and be there to support them and be relevant. And I found Visita during COVID and I was so excited. I had an old online schedule that just was not working for me. And I sat down on my couch after I signed up and I set the whole thing up. It was so easy. And I started doing telehealth with my patients and really engaging with them, along with making Facebook pages. But now I've been back to work for about 1.5 months now since they allowed elective surgeries and procedures here. But my staff is still on unemployment. So it's been just myself. And so it's been really great to have this new tool for me to be able to communicate with my patients, let them schedule online. So I'm not talking on the phone, making appointments, sending them documents. It has been a lifesaver for me. So I am so thrilled to be here today to talk with all of you, and hopefully it's been a lifesaver for everybody who's watching too.
Thank you so much. That feedback is so great to hear. We've really, during this time, I mean, we've always kind of been focusing on supporting and empowering small business owners. And during this time, we have really made that extra effort to give you guys features that we think can help you, work with whatever you can do during these times. If it's the Zoom integration that we'll talk about a little bit later, or the marketing module that a lot of small businesses use to communicate with their customers and potential customers. We're going to get to all that in just a bit. So we're going to be hearing a little bit more from Julie. Julie, this part of our presentation is focused on what you did as a business to kind of reopen, because reopening, you know, there's so many aspects. There's like logistics, you know, how do you do this? There's you know, meeting, you know, sort of standards with regulations. There's people are, you know, kind of, you know, you've been in business for over 30 years doing things a certain way, and then suddenly there's all these new restrictions, all this new paperwork. There's so many moving pieces, and I've been hearing from so many small business owners that it has been such a challenge. Just the fact, just being able to reopen before you start with the marketing, before you start bringing people in, just being able to reopen a physical location can be a real challenge to itself. And what I love about this slide, Julie, is that when I sent you the original text, it said, this is how I use Visita to adapt my business to the new normal. And then you changed it to the next normal, which I absolutely love. And I think that's a great message for everyone, because, you know, we keep on talking about the new normal, you know, this is the new normal, that's the new normal. But the reality is we should be talking about the next normal, because we are in a very dynamic situation and things continue to change and everything is in flux. So we should always be focused on, you know, not, oh, you know, the new normal, everything is changed. You know, we want to look at what is the next step I can do as a business? What is the next normal? How can I adjust so I meet, you know, the next step? And I think we're going to have a lot of these next normals, you know, as the situation evolves and things change around us. There's always going to be that next step. So we kind of have to get used to being in this mindset where we are fast responders, reacting fast to changes. You know, you follow the news, you follow the regulations, you follow the government announcements, and you continuously tweak your business so you're always on top of your game and making sure that you are making the most of whatever opportunities are out there. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, the changes that you made as a business. These are just some of the things that you listed when we had our original conversation. So let's work our way through them, and you can tell the audience at home, you know, what you did and how it worked for your business.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I think about with this next normal is I think of about a giant wave that's coming through, and you have to ride on the crest of that wave. Otherwise, you're going to drown. So you have to always be at the front of that wave. And we keep getting wave after wave after wave with us. And so when you're looking at your next normal, this isn't something that we're just doing now that we're going to go back to our old ways. This is going to be something that we're going to continue to do. So we have to use tools that are going to allow us to easily get back into that routine. And so some of the things that I did is when I first opened, I launched an email campaign through Visita and announced to the world that I was open to my email list. We put it on Facebook. One of the things that really, really helped is I made a Facebook group for just my patients. We have Facebook pages and things, but they were just for my patients. And I gave them immune boosting tips, whether it was drink lots of water or have, you know, good night's sleep, different things just to stay engaged, as well as doing little webinars with them. But when I went to do my email launch, I took my phone and I walked around my office with my mask on, and I videoed all the cleaning supplies we had in the office, the signs we put on the door that we're mandated to wear masks, that we're following the directions given by the Illinois Health Department, that we have to take everybody's temperature when they walk in. And a lot of patients commented, you know what, I saw your video. I know you're staying safe. You're reopened. We're happy you're reopened. We know that it's clean and we're going to be able to come in. And I actually had some patients that switched from other providers who weren't staying so clean. So just abiding by the rules, whether we agree with them or not, you have to abide by the rules, and letting everybody else know that you are is a great way to do it. So that email launch really helped jumpstart me to getting the patients back in.
That's great.
Yeah. So the other thing that we did was, you know, right in that email, we send them a link to book an appointment. And one of the things that I love, love, love about Visita is that you can send them where they can schedule and choose from all your list of services. Or if you know that person, you know, maybe that person is an acupuncture patient or that person is a chiropractic patient, I can send them the link that's specific to the service that they need. And they just click on it and they're able to utilize it really well. Because I've been in practice for so long, I have a lot of older patients as well as younger patients. And sometimes they're a little bit more technically challenged. Not that I'm not an older person, but they've really, really been able to utilize this way better than anything I've used in the past. As far as setting up the appointments, we had to social distance in the office. And one of the really cool things in Visita is the predefined intervals. That helps with the social distancing. So then I'm not piling people on top of each other like we used to. We have a pretty big office, about 3,000 square feet, but still I'm trying to only have one patient with myself at a time in the office, so they know that it's clean and I have time to clean all the tables and doorknobs and everything in between. And then we know that there's contact tracing. God forbid that anybody got COVID, exposure, because, you wouldn't want anybody getting sick, or you wouldn't want liability on your business. And the appointment scheduler in Visita allows us to see who's been there, who's on the schedule, but also who shows up. So that's been really great. One of the things that I absolutely, absolutely love is your forms and your documents. My whole Visita is filled with forms and links. So when I have a new patient schedule, we immediately send them the new patient forms. We ask them to upload it back through the portal, which has been great. When someone needs home instructions or any kind of other papers that we typically give them and hand them, cuts down on the, touching disease spread of things, because you can't really be sanitizing paper now. We send them through Visita. And we've been doing a lot of telehealth, and really am loving the Zoom link. When we make a telehealth appointment, the patient gets emailed our custom Zoom link, and we're able to go right on there, and we share a screen. And then if we're going over blood work or make recommendations, we can upload it back into that portal, which is, I can't even tell you how wonderful that is, because you can't email because of HIPAA. And so this has been fabulous for me.
Thank you so much for that feedback. So that's really great to hear. I think these are some really great, fantastic tips for anyone, not only doctors, but any business owner that is looking into either, doing some stuff online or some stuff at your location, or completely reopening and seeing patients or customers only at your locations. A lot of the verbiage we use, like, telehealth or waiting room, we kind of associate that with the doctor room. But no matter what you do, whether you run a gym or a studio or some sort of landscaping company, these are still needs you may have. You may still need to be able to control the people that are, at your location at any given time, being able to collect health declarations, being able to, have people do things online. These are times where I think, again, like, everything is sort of in flux, and we have to start thinking more, how our customers are experiencing any interaction with our business. So like Julie, you mentioned before how, you try to find tools or, work with workflows that are good for everyone, not only the quick and hip youngsters that are able to, maybe send you a message on social media or, do something online, but really be able to keep things as simple and stable and easy as possible for your entire, for everyone that comes in contact with your business. And I think a really good point here that you mentioned, Julie, is that people are very nervous about, leaving the house, especially in areas that have been in quarantine. People have been in lockdown. People have barely gone grocery shopping. So all of a sudden, having some of the restrictions lifted and being able to go out there and start going back, to the gym and start shopping for clothes and start getting your nails done again, these are all things that suddenly have all this like emotional baggage to them, because you have been locked up, for so long. Our customers, on one hand, they can't wait to get out. They want to get all this stuff done. But on the other hand, they are so nervous about getting themselves, or God forbid, someone from their family infected. And, we know so little about this disease at this point. So I think there's just a lot of emotions everywhere, and being able, as a business, being able to be, very, kind of focus a lot on communication and being very transparent and helping people understand that you're taking the the guidelines seriously, and that the staff at your location wears a mask, or that you have a hand sanitizing station at the entrance to your business. Some of these things may seem so obvious to you, but it actually really makes sense to communicate this stuff to your customers and potential customers, so they know that your business is a safe place to be. So thanks again.
Yeah, one of my patients came in, and we had a specific brand. I don't know if I'm allowed to say brands on here, but it was a Cavicide. We had a container of Cavicide, the wipes that we cleaned out. She was almost going to cry. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you have these wipes. It's so wonderful." And I was like, "Well, we are a doctor's office. We always do, stay clean and clean things, but it has so much more meaning to them now, which is really good." And the thing too is when they're making their appointments themselves online, that I don't think I talked about this yet, is that we put the COVID questions in the appointment links. So when they would say, "I want to make an appointment for a chiropractic adjustment," they had 3 questions that were attached to their appointment through Visita that said, "Have you had a fever? Have you been in contact with anybody with COVID? Do you have a cough, shortness of breath, loss of sense of smell?" And they have to answer those questions before they can even schedule the appointment, which is fabulous.
So that's a really good note. And I think, for a doctor's office, it makes so much sense to have, these medical questions. I think so many business owners are thinking like, wait, I can't have like medical questions on my online scheduling form. But the thing is, during these crazy times, you can have a checkbox. If you're doing online scheduling, if you're having people, book, even just a visit at your business because you have a limited amount of space and you don't want people waiting outside in the street. If you have people booking appointments, you can ask them to sign a health declaration. It depends where in the world you're from, but in many places you will anyway have to, greet every customer with, "Here, please sign your health declaration right over here." So if you can do that online while the person is booking, that just takes that hassle out of the way. So what I'm going to show you now is how you can use Visita to edit your online scheduling form and add like a little section of the scheduling form that where you ask people to confirm that they are healthy and that they haven't they're not showing symptoms or haven't come in contact with a COVID patient. So here's just an example. This is from one of our demo accounts. We added like a little the little area highlighted in blue says, "For the health of and safety of our community, declaration of health is required. Please check this box to confirm you have not come in contact with a person showing COVID-19 signs within the past 14 days. So this is not any, we can't, tell you what to write. You can Google, depending on what your restrictions are in your area, you can tweak this and change it. But adding something like this, or something along these lines to your online scheduling form will both help you, take that extra step to make sure you're putting your staff and your patients and everyone around you safety first. And also it helps you, I think a customer looks at this and says, "Hey, this is a business that's taking the situation seriously. This is someone that really cares about my safety." And I think that's something that, that really goes a long way. Being able to help people and support people during times like this is something that will really serve you. It's the right thing to do, and it'll also obviously really serve you as a business down the road. So I'm going to just real quick show you how to do this in your Visita account. So from your dashboard, you're going to head over to your settings page by clicking on settings and go to my services. This is where you edit all your services. So the way this works currently, you're going to have to add that checkbox to each service individually. I know it's a little bit inconvenient, but you just have to, this is the only way you can choose the services that are happening in person as opposed to online. So you can make sure you're adding that checkbox to only to services that are happening at your location. So I'm going to choose the service I want to edit. I'm going to choose cupping therapy. I have this little pencil icon over here. I'm going to click on it to edit. And this is where I can edit all the service information, the description, the picture. You've probably set all this up. This is probably one of the first things you do when you start your Visita account. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. This is where I can edit the client intake form. So this is where I can edit the form that my customers are going to be looking at when they're making a booking. I'm going to click on edit over here, and I'm going to click add field. There are different types of fields you can add. This one is a checkbox, so I'm going to click checkbox. And then here I'm going to paste Here I'm going to paste just like a little short text that I wrote up before. It depends, this isn't necessarily the text you want to go with. What I wrote was, please confirm that you are not showing COVID-19 symptoms and that you have not come in contact with with a COVID-19 patient within the past 14 days. This is a very kind of matter-of-fact, straightforward text. It depends on what kind of tone of voice you use when you communicate with your customers. The example I showed you before was a little bit softer, more about, keeping the safety of our community. We ask you. So just you have to kind of consider what kind of language and tone of voice you usually use with your customers and write up something that is in line with, your business and your style. You definitely don't want to check this box over here, check by default, because you do want customers to check this themselves. You want them to take a minute to read the text, and by checking that box, they're actually confirming that they're healthy. So you want to leave this one empty, and then this one required. So I do suggest that you make it a required field. So every patient that books a visit to your location does have to confirm that they, are healthy or haven't, come in contact with someone that isn't well. So I'm going to save the new field and then save it over here. I just made the changes to my service. I'm going to go back and I'm going to apply the same field to all the other services that are happening at my physical location. So the next item I want to talk to you about, Julie, is Zoom. So I know, telehealth is obviously, you're like the queen of telehealth. You've been doing telehealth before it was telehealth. And when I say telehealth, so telehealth is obviously for doctors, but so many other professionals have been doing, not telehealth, but teledesign or telefitness or, anything really online. So many services have been moved online. And even if you are in the process of reopening your physical location, you may still have these high-risk patients or people that are not really ready to, make that next step yet, and still want to consume your services online. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Right. So, the telehealth and teleservices are super, super important. What I'm finding is that I've been asking my patients, are you still working from home? And I would say 80% of them are still working from home unless they have a hands-on business like I do, right? So even if they used to go to the office, let's say they worked at an insurance company or we have a drug company across the street from my office. If they were there, they're still working from home. So they're really working with their communities, they're working with their coaching clients, they're working with, even psychologists are working with people doing therapy on the telehealth. And so it is super, super important because I know Zoom is HIPAA compliant. And so you can have conversations, you can record those if that's helpful to your patient or your client. It allows you to share your screen like we're doing right now, and it allows more than one person. What I found is people used to come in to go over their lab reviews, and they would come by themselves, but because they're at home and their families are at home, maybe they have the husband jump on the call with us, or the parents jump on with the 20-something-year-old kids. And so it's a lot more involved, and a lot more people are getting involved in whatever services that they're getting. In addition to be able to record, like we're recording health related topics on little webinars, mini courses to send out for the patients to keep them engaged and educated, especially when right now the health awareness is at the top of the game. But the integration through Visita is so seamless. You guys had it, so I think you're going to show where you can put the link in, and as soon as you click a telehealth appointment, we named it telehealth, whatever it is, telehealth weight loss strategy, telehealth, report of x-rays, whatever it is, they click on it, and then that patient gets that Zoom link. And when I go to make that Zoom call with the patient, I go into Visita, click on the appointment, and it's right there, and I'm in the call with them. So it's really, really convenient.
Yeah, Zoom is a big Zoom. I think Zoom is such a buzzword nowadays. Like I remember Zoom from the days before COVID. Like it was just this little anonymous company, and then boom, Zoom really exploded over the last couple of months. And I think it's because it's a very reliable. Obviously there are always cases on the fringe, but I think it's a very reliable app in terms of that it's there. There's like an actual company, substantial company standing behind it. It's not like you're going to try log into your meeting one day and it's like, whoops, what's happened? This company has disappeared and my app isn't working. So it's definitely worth investing in, finding the right teleconferencing tool that works for your business. And Visita integrates with some other platforms as well. But the reason we chose Zoom during, these times and we launched a brand new Zoom integration just a couple of months ago is because it's become so much of a buzzword. So like, I think so many customers that might be a little bit nervous about having, a service done online and like, wait a second, how are we doing this? Or do I, or is this am I going to be on your computer? I think once you drop the name Zoom, people are like, oh, okay, right, Zoom. Because Zoom, to so many people, Zoom is like associated with, doing business online during these times. So I think using a tool, and I don't, I'm not a Zoom, I don't get commissioned by Zoom.
Right.
I wish, but but yeah, I think Zoom is like a household brand. Like it's a reliable tool that you can use, and I think most people will also be comfortable using it with you. So the Zoom integration is available. I'm just going to show you a real quick demo of how you can connect your Zoom account with your Visita account. Just again, everything's recorded. So if it's a bit too fast or you want to watch a replay, don't worry about it because there will be a recording available. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our setting page and click on integrations just over here on the bottom right. We're going to choose Zoom. These are all the different platforms Visita integrates with. So we're going to choose Zoom, sign in to your account. I'm going to put in the credentials here. And then once you click sign in, you're going to get the next screen, which is a screen that asks you just to kind of request access to your Zoom account. You're going to click on the button and that's it, 2 clicks away. It's a matter of 2 clicks and you're basically good to go. So what I want to show you now is how you can change an existing service so it happens online, so it happens on Zoom. So I went to my services. I can choose any service from my list. I'm going to choose one of my workshops here. And then I clicked on the edit button and then I'm going to scroll down. So see right now it's set to happen over the phone. So instead I'm going to click online. Once I click online, I'm going to have these 3 options on the bottom and I'm going to leave, Zoom is going to be selected and I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to click on save. And that's it. Every time someone schedules this meeting now, Visita will generate a Zoom link for them. And then that's the link, a unique link. So it's not the same for all meetings. It's a unique link for every customer. And then the customer will then use that link to join your meeting. So this is just an example of what the confirmation message will look like. So if a customer comes onto your website or, clicks your schedule button on social media, gets to your scheduler, requests an online booking for a service provided via Zoom. Once they fill out all their information, this is the message they'll get. So it'll actually have a link to Zoom in it. So when you, from the business side, when you need to log into a Zoom meeting, you go to your calendar, like Julie mentioned, you have the link there, but your customer will actually have, the link in their calendar, in their email. So we try to make it as super easy and seamless as possible. Again, if you have any questions about the Zoom integration, you can drop them here, or you can go ahead and contact our customer support team. They are, super friendly and super happy to help. I'm just going to say again that if you guys missed this, if you're watching this session via Zoom, you can ask a question on the bottom panel through the Q&A, and we will take some time at the end to answer the questions. If you're watching us on Facebook Live and you want to ask a question, you can write it in the comments, and we will have to get back to you later offline and answer that question for you. So this is a topic that I am very excited about. Being a marketing person, I've been, reading a lot about what businesses are doing nowadays in terms of marketing. You know, how, you know, it's like you as a business go on this whole mental journey of, okay, you know, I'm going to reopen, I'm going to make all these differences, I'm going to make all these changes to my business, to my workflows. You know, I'm going to comply with regulations, I'm going to have my hand sanitizer, I'm going to buy, you know, masks for my team, I'm going to set up my Visita with all its, you know, fancy online scheduling. And, you know, you do so much work on your end, but then the day, you know, you flip that sign on your front door where it now says open, you know, that's just the beginning. Like, now it's time to get the people, you know, these people won't be banging on your doors. Now, the next step is to get the people, your customers, to come back to your business, to re-engage with your business, whether it's online or show up at your physical location. So let's talk a little bit about that. Julie, before you mentioned how, you know, with you, you really started it with like an announcement, like letting everybody know you're open. So how did that go about?
So I made an email and I had a picture with my mask on and had an open sign, and I sent it out and said, we're open, you know, these are the parameters, we're following social distancing, you know, no walk-ins, just the rules of engagement, if you will, in this next normal. And I sent that email out several times because, as we know, sometimes emails get lost in inboxes, and I put a link in the email, of course, for them to schedule an appointment. And that worked super, super well. People were waiting and waiting to come back in. You know, when we're shut down for 2.5 months, our minds kind of play tricks on us. My patients will never come back. My business will never reopen. But as soon as I sent out that email, everybody just was so happy and started scheduling right away. So that was really, really helpful to be able to send it to my entire database right from Visita.
That's great. So I'm happy. First of all, I'm happy to hear that we were able to support you in that area of sending business updates. I'm going to go ahead and show everybody how they can do that in just a second. But what I do want to focus on, and this is something that we actually have prepared. So I'll show you in just a minute or so that we have a template ready with, like, you know, all the information. But in case you're trying to sort of craft your own message of what you can tell your customers about, I think these three, these 3 points that you told us about here, Julie, like the physical distancing, the staff wearing masks, the hand sanitizers, those are things that you should be broadcasting to the world. You know, let everyone know that you are putting their safety first, and that your business is a place where they can feel safe and they can show up, you know, for their treatment or for their service without worrying about, you know, oh my God, is the person going to be wearing a mask, or will I have some hand sanitizer, or am I going to be sitting, you know, super close to people in like the lounge or reception or waiting area? You know, these are thoughts that are going through everyone's mind. So being able to sort of address that elephant in the room, letting people know that you are aware of their concerns and that you are looking after them, putting their safety first. I think this is a really important message to send out to your customers, whether you're doing it via email or, you know, calling people on the phone or reaching out to them via social media or any other channel. That's a really important message to send. So what I want to show you now is how you can use Visita to send that message out to your customers via email, like Judy did. So, like Julie did, sorry. So here we are at our Visita dashboard. We're going to head over to marketing and click on announcements. This is the announcement page. So this is all the announcements you ever worked on. I'm going to click on new announcement. And then these are the templates. So these are all different templates for different themes. If you scroll down, you'll see they're like holiday ones, promotion ones, all the COVID ones are up here on top. And there is actually a template called Welcome Back. So this one over here, I'm going to click select. And then this is just like a blurb we put together with, you know, the guidelines. Here's how we're working. You know, this is how we're putting your safety first. And then there's some requests for you as our customer, things we're asking you to do. You can this is completely editable, so you can completely change it. You know, we threw in a promotion here. You can do it. You can choose not to do it. Completely up to you. You can change the call to action button here. So if you don't want it to if you don't want the call to action to be scheduled now, which is actually the call to action we do recommend, you can change it. You can choose from this whole list over here. So choose the call to action that works best, obviously for your business and for your audience. Down over here, there's an image, so you can leave it as is, or you can choose to edit the image. You can upload your own. over here, or you can select an image from our completely free, royalty-free. These images are all legal to use. You can browse through them, check, and see what type of image, thinks works best for your audience, for your business. Select the one that works for you, and then just save the changes. Once you're done editing this template, you're going to click on the Done button over here, and then that'll take you back to this screen. And then once you're ready to send it, you have to click on the Send button right here on the right. So you're going to click on Send, decide if you want to send it via email or text message. You can edit the subject line, of course, and then if you click Continue, you'll choose, the customers you want to send it to. So if you have tags, tags are like the groups of customers that you create. This one is like a music teacher, so we had like piano and guitar. We selected those groups, send now, and that's it. The campaign is on its way, and you can always come back to this screen to take a look at your analytics and see, how many people opened, how many people clicked, how many bounced. So that's, always important to come back and see how your campaigns are performing. And then again, if you didn't catch, all the steps, I know might have been a bit blurry on the display. Don't worry, we'll send you a recording, or if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us, and we will definitely, help you do it step by step. So that was the email demo. Another really interesting marketing, kind of element that Julie described was the whole, content creation. I think, Julie, for you, you're like a content pro. You've been doing this for years. You know how to, appeal to an audience. Can you tell people about, what type of content you've been creating online that has been generating, revenue for your business?
Right. So in this next normal, the message that we are putting out has changed, because before we were talking about different health things, and we're still talking about them. But now with COVID, we're leading with empathy, and we're leading with caring about people as people, because with all the social distancing, people are losing that connection to each other. And so if we're only can be virtual, your message has to be much more caring and empathetic to help them through their challenge, rather than saying, I have a sale for this for 99 cents, at the store now, right? They're looking for more of that human connection, because that's what they're lacking. So that's kind of what I twisted my messaging in the next normal for. And so we did a little Facebook group for just my patients. And so they felt very special that that's just my patients. I live stream Facebook Lives in there. I did 1 or 2 live webinars with PowerPoints every week on topics. I did little polls in there, like what topics do they want to hear about. I let them do Q&As in there, so they knew that I was there for them. We posted immune boosting tips every single day. And you're not telling people what they can do to get rid of COVID or anything crazy like that, but how to stay healthy and take care of themselves and their family. And then I have all those recordings that I did available to my patients on my little portal that I made. So it made it really, it made it great for the people to stay engaged. But now that I'm back in practice, guess what? I have all of those recordings to fall back on. And so I did a lab report of finding with a patient today, and he needed to do a detox. And I didn't have to go through all the directions with him, because I could say, hey, I have a webinar that I did on detox. I'm going to send it to you through Visita, and I just sent him the link, and he's good to go. So if you just think of how you engage with people in person, how you did engage with people in person, and how they could just feel your presence and caring about them, how are you going to care about them virtually? And that will keep them really sticky. That will keep them with your business, whether you're open or closed right now. It will keep them loyal to your brand.
Guys, these are inspiring words from a real content guru. I obviously, Julie is a doctor, and her patients come to her for, medical treatments, but Julie has this whole other life where she is online, helping coaching other doctors and other medical professionals, helping them to understand, how to sort of operate, how to maneuver within this online space. And I think those are some really golden tips, having, like, as a business owner, you're kind of used to doing these one-on-one interactions. And now with COVID, people are spending so much time online actively seeking content that is helpful, not only about, like you said, it's not only about, how do I avoid, getting sick, but also, how do I make sure that, spending time at home doesn't drive me crazy? How do I find outlets for all this energy? Maybe, I'm looking into how I can exercise more. Maybe I'm looking for healthier meal plans. Maybe I'm looking about how, to stop my kids from driving me crazy. Maybe I'm looking up for articles about how to not fight with my husband when we're locked up and quarantined and going crazy. People are really actively seeking information. How do I take care of my house? How do I take care of my garden? This is all stuff that you as a business owner might be able to offer. Write up an article, write up, a blog post, create a short video on Facebook, create a short video on YouTube, help people, give people that free information, just as gaining that foot in the door, getting them to be familiar with your business. You position yourself as an expert in your domain. It's a really good time to invest in, usually as a business owner, you're so busy, and now you might have this time to invest in creating content that will help you create traction online. And that's something that we are absolutely committed to helping you with. So I am super excited to announce that we are getting ready to launch our Build Your Funnel boot camp with the one and only Owen Video, which we have worked with in the past. Owen is a YouTube genius and an online marketing guru. What his day job is basically helping businesses do exactly this, helping businesses move online, do video, get content that creates revenue for their business. And he's joining us for this boot camp, which is it'll have 3 sessions on how to build your funnel with Visita. So how to create, this online awareness, how to generate actual leads, qualified leads, people that are interested in doing business with you, and then how to convert those leads into paying customers that will continue and become repeat customers, that continue generating more and more revenue for your business. So we are really excited about this boot camp. The first session is happening next week. So we're going to have a link dropped in the chat area right now. I highly recommend registering. The first session is going to focus exactly on what we just discussed, content strategy and lead generation. It's going to happen on Zoom. It's happening next Wednesday, July 15th. So please make sure to use the link in the chat area to register. We'll also send you a link via email, just in case you're watching this on Facebook or if you're watching the recording. If you're watching this on Facebook, we will not be able to send you a link because we don't know that you're watching us, but we will be back shortly to post the link on Facebook. So make sure to grab that link and sign up for next week's webinar, which is going to be awesome with Owen Video. So what I want to do now is just show you another quick demo, last one for today, on how you can use Visita to schedule a meeting like this one. So I'm going to go to settings from my dashboard. The first thing I want to do is create or edit the service that I want to use as my online workshop. So I'm going to click on My Services. This is your service menu. So this is where you have all your services. The ones over here, this demo account is belongs to a Chinese medicine clinic. So these services over here are my one-on-one treatments, and the ones here on the bottom are my workshops. So I created these a while ago. I'm just going to edit one of these now, my healthy eating habits. I could use that workshop. I could attend a workshop like this. So I already took the time to kind of edit this and set this up. I put in a little description. I chose an image. The image is actually really important because it's very prominent. When I'll show you afterwards what this experience looks like for your customer when they're making the booking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the location section. Right now, this service is set up to happen face-to-face. I want to change it to online. I can use Zoom or Skype. I can also use other. So this is like if you're doing a Facebook Live, you can place a link to your Facebook page over here. And then, when time comes for the event, your customer will go to their calendar, click on your Facebook link, and that'll take them to your Facebook page where you're hosting your live event. I'm going to leave mine as a Zoom event for now. So I'm just going to click on Save. So now my service is set to happen online. What I'm going to do now is head over to my calendar. I'm going to look for the area. I'm going to highlight the area I want to use for my workshop. I'm going to click on it, and then I get this little menu here. I'm going to click on group event. And then here I select the event I want, so I can create a custom one now, like a custom event on the fly, or I can use one of the events that I already created as part of my service menu. I'm going to click on healthy eating habits. That's my workshop. I can make it repeat, you know, if you wanted to do like a weekly thing or a monthly thing. You can make it invitation only. You can edit it from here too, so you can you can cap the attendees, you can make it, I don't know, let's just say 30. We can support up to 500 registrants. You can, you know, control if it's going to be paid or if it's going to be free, or if you want people to pay while they're booking or pay at a later stage, that's fine too. You can change the price. This is a really important part, the preparation time. I always like to take at least 30 minutes, like half an hour, before I start an online live session, just, you know, to make sure my computer's working, my webcam's working, I have everything in place, you know, I have a glass of water next to me, close all my tabs, just so, you know, you have everything set for your presentation. So if you're able to take that 30-minute buffer, highly recommended. And then this over here will just edit like the additional, by the way, all these settings are available from the page I showed you before, from the service page too, but this is just, you know, if you were just creating it on your calendar and wanted to make some last minute changes, you could do that from here. So you can also change your notifications. You know, you can say, all right, I want to send, you know, one reminder before the hours, before 1 hour before the event starts, and then another reminder, I don't know, 15 minutes before. You can also just send out one reminder. I usually like to send out two, just to make sure, you know, nobody misses the event. You can send them via email, via text message, and then I'm just going to click on create. So now my event has been created. This is my event page over here. This is where I can track registrations. So I'll see how many registrations I have out of the 30 that I, you know, initially capped. This is a Zoom link that'll take me to my event. Once you start getting registrants, they'll appear over here. So once your clients start registering for an event, you'll have a list of everyone, including, you know, a link to their client card with all their contact information. They'll appear right over here. And this over here is the link to your event invitation. So this is the link you want to put on your website or on your social media. This is what people are going to click on so they can register to your event. You can use this link to see what the experience looks like for from the customer's end. So just grab it from over here, open a new tab with it, and then you'll see the page where your customer will land and register to your event. Remember how before I said that the image was super prominent. So that's why it's so important to choose an image that looks good and works really well with your business. This is the description we saw before, the time, the price, the person that's going to be hosting the event, and obviously the button so your customers can register. So the reason we use Zoom for our webinars, you're probably wondering like, hey, why didn't Visita use Visita for signing up for this webinar? Because Zoom, one of the big downfalls with Zoom is that the registration page are very, very bare and very, very boring. It's just a block of text. And you probably saw this when you were registering for this webinar. It's just a block of text. There's no imagery, you know, it's very hard to get a good conversion rate on pages like that because they're not visually appealing. The advantage of Zoom is that they give you very, very detailed reports of, you know, how many seconds each person attended from your event. That's something that we don't currently do within Visita. But if you're, you know, running, you know, an enterprise and you're doing these webinars for, you know, you're investing whatever it is, thousands of dollars in registration, you know, that's one thing, you know, you go for Zoom and you'll have, you know, the landing page that isn't great. But if you're just running a small business and you just want people to show up and have a good experience, you know, and kind of get a good branding experience, I highly recommend using Visita for webinars and Facebook Lives, just because it's a super slick and easy registration experience. And you can obviously, as I showed you, track registration, see how many people registered, who they are on the right-hand side. You'll see, you know, exactly which customers signed up. So it's a really great solution if you're doing any kind of online video. And thank you so much for joining us today. I think these have been some really great insights for small businesses that are looking into, you know, doing things online or doing a combination of online and in person and getting ready to, you know, reignite their business and take advantage of what's left of this year. I hope you guys appreciate Julie's time. You know, she's super busy. She had so much going on, and we still were able to grab her for an hour. So thanks again, Julie. If you have any questions for Julie, you can obviously post them in the Q&A section. We're going to take some time to answer questions right now. Just once again, thank you so much for joining us. This was fantastic. So now Julie has a special offer for you just before we start the Q&A. Julie, do you want to tell us about what you prepared for the folks online?
Yeah, so I so appreciate everybody, you know, joining and really, because it's helped me so much. Visita's helped me. I can't even tell you how much it's just transformed the way that I was doing my practice. And it was so valuable that I was able to start it during COVID. I'm thrilled. So I wanted to give you guys something that maybe could help you with your businesses too, since we're all business owners. I created a little mini course, and it's called Well-Being in the Workplace, because, you know, we're all loving on our customers, wanting them to all come in, but we have to remember our employees and take care of our employees in our workplace, right? So we're trying to improve the health, not only of our employees, but also of our business. So I'm going to offer you all a free mini course online, because did you know that there's an average spend of ROI of $5.81 for every dollar spent you get in return on wellness for your employees? And so it's going to be a lot better for your productivity. They can totally do it virtual online. You can appoint a wellness governor, is what I like to call them, because those wellness governors are going to help, you know, teach your company. Like, we're having a 7-day random act of kindness little webinar for our patients this week. And so if you want to go ahead and sign up, there's a link in the chat, I think, and you guys can do that for free.
Yeah, so you should see a link in the chat right now. You can use that to register. Thank you so much for this awesome offer, Julie, and thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to take the time we have left and maybe steal a couple of extra minutes only for whoever has the time to stay with us and answer some questions. So I want to introduce you to Sarah. Sarah is my girl at Visita. Every time I have a question about how to do something, I should have asked her about that demo, because she definitely would have told me how to do it. So Sarah is online with us today, and she's going to help us with the questions. If you guys have any questions for Visita or for Julie, feel free to post them in the chat in the Q&A area. And hello, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening. Okay, so let's see a few questions that you asked. We can help you with. Okay, so how much does Visita cost? Well, I say the best thing is to speak with our sales. They're wonderful, and they can help you find, you know, the best package that best suits your business needs. Okay, let's see. You can, of course, if you want to reach sales, you can contact through support, and we'll contact you to them. No problem. Let's see what else. Can Visita support several team members if each needs their own calendar? The answer, of course, yes. Visita is excellent for teams and drives great collaboration. If Julie has anything she would like to add to that, if she has any teams that we would love to hear.
Yeah, so we do have multiple providers, massage therapists and trainers, and yeah, they are all team members, and then people can schedule for that person, and it's all in the calendar. And it's nice because then you can see, like, as we have, you know, so many different rooms, which rooms overlap, and so we're not double booking those rooms, which it makes it really, really easy for that. So I think on the one that I have, I can have up to 5 team members.
Yes, great. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. We get this a lot. Can I collect payment through Visita? So the answer is sure you can. You can connect Visita to PayPal or Square or Stripe to collect payments online. And this, you know, touchless transactions are now more important than ever, as we heard from Julie. Let's see what else. Okay. Someone asked, can we send to clients, this is in regards to the announcements tutorial, can we send to clients that aren't grouped in Visita or live outside of the Visita's distribution list? Unfortunately, no. I recommend adding them as clients. So you can add them or by tags or by email and then send to them, even if they're not your actual clients and you want to send them an announcement. Just add them to your client base and you can send them anything at the announcements. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah. One of the things we do with our telehealth is that they prepay on Visita when they make the appointment. And so I don't have to deal with getting someone's credit card and payment information. I can just dive into what I need to do with them. So that makes it way better for me.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is basically what you just answered, I think. Can we save clients' credit card information? So yes, this is actually recently we released vaulting and the ability to store credit cards. This is very new. So you can do this in the client's card under payments, very easy. And of course, to do that, you have to connect to one of the payment gateways processors, credit card processors. Rachel, do we have any more time?
So I think we have to finish just because I know, Julie has to get on with her day, and everyone that joined us today probably has stuff they have to get back to too. If you haven't had your question answered, don't worry. We'll definitely follow up with you online later today or possibly first thing tomorrow, depending on the volume. And I just want to thank everyone again for joining us. We have, again, these are crazy times and we appreciate you guys taking the time to be with us here today. We hope we were able to help you with everything that is about, restarting your 2020 and reopening your business. If you have any questions at all about what kind of role Visita can play in that process, please reach out to us. We're here and we look forward to helping you. And don't forget to use those links in the chat area to register for our cool, awesome marketing bootcamp with Owen and for Julie's awesome employee wellness program. Both are highly recommended. We will make sure to send you both by mail just in case you missed them in the chat area. And then just once again, the recording is available. If any of the tutorials were a bit too fast, we'll send you the replay probably first thing tomorrow so you can watch them again if you need. So everybody stay safe. Thanks again, Julie and Sarah for joining us today. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I really hope we hear some good news and, who knows with how things are going, maybe next webinar we'll, be able to talk about the post-COVID era, the post-COVID times where we can all reopen and be healthy and not worry about wearing masks or hand sanitizers or anything like that. So thanks again for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day and we'll be in touch real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.